Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Urmi and in this channel I talk about finance, career, public speaking and ways to invest in yourself. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure to subscribe, make sure to hit the notification bell to make sure that you don't miss any new videos that I post. So today I'll be talking about the CFA program. This is actually the second part of the first part that I did. And I got a lot of questions on my DM on Instagram from people asking me about the CFA level 1 and how to study for the level 1, what are the best way to study, the best strategies. So I'm going to continue answering all these questions because I probably have like 20 or 30 questions in total. So this person is asking me, what is the difficulty level of CFA exams compared to other exams like the CA? So this is a question that I don't think I can answer. I can actually answer because I do not know how the CA program works. To be honest, I do think that the CFA level 1, level 2, like all this all the exams from the CFA are actually pretty difficult. But I think all the exams are pretty difficult. I don't think that there is one that is like most difficult than the other one. It's all about your level of preparation. I think that if you're prepared enough, then it's not gonna be difficult. It's just about being able to answer the question, being able to manage your time when you're answering the question. So in terms of difficulty, I never think there is anything that is difficult. I think everything is difficult if you have not studied, if you haven't put enough hours to prepare for an exam. So whether one is more difficult than the other, I don't think so. I think they're all the same level of difficulty. It's just making sure that you are studying and preparing enough for an exam. Then the same person is asking me, when should I start preparing for the second and the third level of the CFA exams? So I can tell you a little bit about myself and how I prepared. Usually what I did is I would always put like 9 to 10 months of preparation for each level, just because I work full time and I do have a lot of personal commitment. I do a lot of things, like I have a blog, I have a YouTube channel, of course. I do a lot of volunteering, so that takes a lot of time. But I make sure that I'm doing all this as I'm also studying for the CFA. I do think that you do have to see a little bit about, like, personally, do I have enough time to study? Like, if you are someone who's not working and who just lives on its own, I do think that probably 6 months is enough, as long as you put all the necessary hours. But if you're someone who's very busy, very committed and so forth, then I think you do need to start as early as possible. So for instance, the way I did is I would get my, let's say, the result in August or whatever, and then a couple of weeks later I would sign up for the next level, and then a couple of weeks later, I would say probably like the week after, I was already studying for the next level. And I think that gives you like enough time cushion to just, prepare yourself, or just to see, like, if I'm stuck with the topic and I'm not able to move on with that topic, then you can spend a little bit more time. And also just because the unexpected happens. So if something unexpectedly happens and let's say you have to, I don't know, go somewhere for some whatever reason, then you at least that you have like manage your time properly. So I do suggest that you start as early as possible. I do know there are some people who study like they study for each level in like 4 months. I don't recommend that, to be honest. I think, like, I strongly dislike that suggestion, because I do think that 4 months before an exam, like, you're cramming everything, you're probably adding stress to your life, and probably these people, they're just simply working, or they don't have much to do in their life. But I don't suggest that. Like, I suggest that you start as early as possible. If you're giving your exam, let's say in May, then I would suggest you start probably in October, November. I would always start like in September and so forth. But honestly, just give yourself enough time cushion, because I think time is your only friend in this case, and make sure to use that. Then this person is asking me, what do you think about the curriculum? Can we skip Can we skip it? If there are some readings that we can skip it. To be honest, my answer to that is don't skip anything. Just make sure to study everything that is in the curriculum. Make sure to go over all the readings. Do not miss anything, not even a comma, because you never know. So a lot of the times there are a lot of changes in the curriculum, and I do suggest that you are faithful to what's written in the curriculum. Just make sure to go over all the readings. If you don't have time to read it, of course, especially for level 1, I think it's fine for level 1 if you don't have time to read it, but I would suggest that you stick to the topics that are in the curriculum. So if there are 10 topics, then go over all the topics, go over all the readings, and make sure to practice. I think the key to success, to succeed in the level 1 exam, is just about practice. You have to practice as much as possible, because I think they're testing you about your memory. They're testing you, in the little stuff. And I think the more you practice, the better it will be for you. So you want to practice I always suggest to practice from the CFA, from whatever the CFA Institute provides, and then to move on with other providers. So if you have time, then you can do the stuff provided from Schweizer. You can do the stuff that are offered by IFT, from Fintree, and so forth. But I think your starting point always should be, I think, whatever the CFA Institute provides, and then you move on with other stuff. And this is why I say it's always important to start early, because the earlier you start, the more time you have to practice and try from other sources. So you have time to, practice a mock offered by Mark Meldrum, or practice some questions offered by Fintree, and so forth. So always make sure to practice as much as you can, and do not skip any readings. Honestly, do not skip anything. And let me see. So this person is asking me if there is any books that they can read. So I would suggest, actually, any finance book is always good, just to get a little bit of knowledge about finance. I do recommend a lot listening to podcasts that are about finance, and watching lectures on YouTube about finance. So for instance, some of the things that I would do is I would listen a lot to a lot of podcasts, just to reinforce my knowledge about what I have just learned. So I listen a lot to the Bloomberg Business Week Bloomberg podcast, or something like that. I will write it out. I write down the name in the description below. I used to listen to that one a lot. I still do, and I think that one, it helps me a lot to reinforce all the knowledge that I got from whatever I was studying, because it just helped me to see how whatever I was studying was applied in real life. I think that's a good way to actually learn some material. And another thing that I would do is I would watch lectures on YouTube. So YouTube is a free resource where you can get anything from it, literally. And so, for instance, let's say you're trying to find out how to read a financial statement. Let's say you can just Google that, and there are a bunch of lectures. And I highly suggest to actually watch those ones, because they just help you to understand the topic properly, especially because the CFA program doesn't offer courses, or you don't have an actual contact with someone where you can ask questions. So I do suggest that you actually watch stuff on YouTube. And another thing that I would suggest is also so there are two podcasts that I actually want to suggest that I think are pretty good. The first one is called The Investors Podcast, and I think that's a very good podcast, because they basically invite all these people that work in the financial industry, that are hedge fund managers, or they're managing pension funds and so forth. I do suggest that you listen to that one because it's pretty interesting, first of all, and also they talk about like all these things that you actually learn in the CFA program, and I think that's a very good way to learn. And the second one is the one from Bloomberg. I just don't remember the name exactly, and just to watch and then just to watch some videos on YouTube. I'll probably provide some information about like video, like books and podcast recommendation in my next video. And yeah, so I will create another video, and in the meantime, please make sure to subscribe, like, and comment, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.